Hi.
Jen, how are you? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. A little busy, but I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, just really getting into the workday. So, but yeah, it's the same. What part of
Yeah.
the world are you in?
I'm in the Netherlands right now, so I'm in Amsterdam.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
What?
it's a different time zone here. Like my boyfriend is actually American, so he used to live in LA.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of used to like the difference in time and like whatever I could call him and stuff, of course. But yeah, I get that it's a little confusing maybe.
Yeah, and congratulations. I think congratulate. Are y'all engaged? Did I imagine that? I have that.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
engaged. Yeah. I got engaged, or we got engaged. Yeah, he asked me. It was so special, and just it's still a bit crazy to talk about. Actually, that I'm actually gonna get married. It's so exciting.
Oh my God. Are y'all like planning things already? I guess you guys kind of have to plan things really far in the future.
Yes.
Still
So
working.
we try to like kind of plan things, but right now, since the world is at such a weird place still when it comes to like quarantine, and of course because Jordan, his family is all from the United States,
Mm.
and there's still a travel ban between the EU and the US for like normal people, like non-US citizens or visa
Unfortunately,
holders. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a bit difficult, but whenever the time is ready, we'll just find a date and we'll find a way to get everyone here because or everyone there. We don't know yet, actually.
Yeah, my friends are planning out their wedding here, and it's like October 2022, and I'm like, hopefully we're all back to normal back then.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's hope the world is all normal by then and travel is possible again.
I just want to get vaccinated. Um, so
Yeah.
so over here in the States, most people don't really know about Eurovision, which is pretty wild. I honestly didn't hear about Eurovision until kind of embarrassing that Netflix movie that came out.
I get it. Yeah. I
Um,
get it.
Yeah, and then my roommate got really obsessed with it, and then he started playing all these songs, and I was like, "What?" He was watching all the shows, and I heard your song, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this? Like arcade? Holy,
Yeah.
this is so good!" So that was the first time I
Thank
heard of
you.
you. Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you. I'm a fan, and your new
Oh
album,
my God.
but we can dive into that in a second.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
I guess
Let's do
my
that.
first question is just, I mean, we for Americans who don't know much about Eurovision, what was the process like getting into that competition? And did you know that this song, like you had this song that would become this phenomenon, really?
Well, like there's a whole thing. Let me explain a little bit about
Okay.
Eurovision because obviously you like I get that that in America it's not as popular obviously as Europe. Like Eurovision, it's a European thing. It's been around for like 75 years, I think. So it's quite a competition. Like it's viewed by 200 million people every single time, which is like twice the Super Bowl, which was like last Sunday. So that's kind of like how you can compare it a little or like place it a little in this world. But it's so amazing that that movie came out because a lot more people are getting to know Eurovision now outside of Europe. So that's a really fun thing. Even though it was a really comedic like twist on Eurovision, the circus and the show and the pyros and the dancers is all very real.
Mhm.
Um, so when I was asked to represent the Netherlands, because that's obviously where I'm from, I live in Amsterdam. So every country in Europe sends out a representative to Eurovision. I was chosen to represent the Netherlands, and normally they send out every year. They send out famous people. I was not famous at all. They sent me out because they heard my song Arcade, and they were like, whoa, this is a great song. And it wasn't released back then because I was just a songwriter writing songs mainly for others. Um, and when they realized that the singer was Dutch, so that they could send him out to Eurovision, one plus one was two for them. And I was like, well, I don't know. It's a lot of pyros and a lot of show and a lot of dancing. And I don't know if like I would fit there and if like Arcade is the song obviously to send out. But I really believe in the story of it, in the song itself. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I want to do this because this might be my chance to become the performer and the artist that I want to become. And this might be a great kickstart for my career going backstage to on stage. And it was, we went there with a whole team. It was incredible. It's like, so we flew to Israel, Tel Aviv, where it was held, because every single year when a country wins, the next year you have to host Eurovision.
Mm.
So this year, because last year it couldn't happen, of course, obviously due to Corona, it will be hosted by the Netherlands in Rotterdam, because I won. So I went to Israel, and it was a crazy experience, because Israel obviously is kind of a country that is politically kind of a little like, it's a bit like rough, let's say
Yeah.
that. I'm not going to dive into the political things of that, but it's scary to like fly to a country you don't know, but you hear a lot about. But being there, being in that bubble, and just experiencing the whole, just, you know, magic of Eurovision was so amazing. I did not expect that it was this welcoming, this warm, and this like, you know, open-minded. And like, if you say gay culture in Europe, you say Eurovision. It's like 1+1. It's like a thing for gay people in Eurovision or in Europe. But seeing the crowd at Eurovision, feeling their warmth, feeling their openness, and just being able to be who I am and showing them my song, Arcade, and just focusing on the music, and them accepting that and even loving that in this whole showy pyro dancers whatever kind of show, was so heartwarming. It was so cool to start my career on that stage. Literally on that stage I started my career as a performer. um, and ever since then, things just changed completely. I had a headlining tour through Europe. I went to Los Angeles to sign with Capitol. I had so many amazing opportunities, and right now Arcade is going viral on TikTok, and that has not a lot to do with Eurovision, but I still believe that it all started there on that stage in that moment.
I think so too. And I think that it's so interesting thinking about like your kind of song and also just like how like vulnerable you are in the song, but also how vulnerable you are like at Eurovision.
Mm,
I mean, I believe during a press conference at Eurovision you came out as bisexual and you talked about
yes.
wanting to show yourself as an artist and a human being. Why was that
Yes.
important to you to do? Why did you want to do that?
Mm, well, first of all, my English wasn't as good back then as it is now. So I was kind of struggling with how to phrase those things. I was like, I want to tell them that I feel so appreciated. And I want to tell them that, you know, back then, a lot of the focus was on like, are you going to use dancers, are you going to dress up, what are you going to wear, what are you going to do this, are you going to do that? And I was just like, guys, break it down. Like, of course I'm more than a musician, I'm more than just a song, I'm a human being, I'm this, I'm that, I'm bisexual, I'm this, and I feel so welcomed. So that was the context, so welcomed in this community. And but I want to be able to be myself no matter what. I want to show you guys the best of who I can be on that stage with that song. So that was the whole context of that interview. Only they cut it a little bit to like, I'm bisexual, I'm a human being. And it was like, yeah, obviously, yeah, you told
True.
us that 5 years ago on Instagram, but and of course you're a human being. We can see that. But
Yeah.
it was very funny to kind of be like, afterwards I just laughed because I knew they were going to do that. But yeah, so every time I have to kind of explain like, okay, this was the context. But I got so many great reactions even from the cut, like the edited version of that interview, because people really were like, it's so cool that you open up and that you're just like, who's your biggest support? Well, my boyfriend. And who's like, and they were so struck by the fact that it was just so normal for
Yeah.
me to say like, my boyfriend, my, yeah, whatever, you know, like. And that's how I want to live my life, that's how I've always lived my life. I think especially in gay culture, like, and in our gay in the LGBT plus community, we need to start doing that. We need to start holding each other's hands. We need to start walking down the street, you know, with like arms around each other, kissing each other. And of course it's scary, and of course in some countries, please don't, like in some countries, but in the countries where we can do that, please do. Don't be scared, just do it. We need to do it as much as possible to show that it's normal. It's not a unique thing, it's normal. And that's how I believe I want to live my life, and I want to talk about my sexuality, and I want to talk about love, because in the end it's just love.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. No,
Thanks.
I started seeing my new now partner a few months
Yeah.
ago, in like 5 months.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
yeah, and they're very affectionate in public, which I'm not 100% used to, and it's kind of weird. So I'm also in Texas right now, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
nerve-wracking.
it
But
is.
I think that it's like really powerful. I think about like when I was a kid and what seeing someone just like holding hands would have done for me.
Mm.
And so I
Yeah,
agree. Like it's hopefully encouraging, like changing minds, but also like encouraging other people to like see themselves and be comfortable being themselves. And it's not
exactly.
it removes the fear out of the situation, hopefully.
Exactly. And it's always going to be scary. Like
Mhm.
I'm bisexual. I've walked with like girls on the streets holding hands, and still I was a little bit like, are people going to be like thinking that we're all over each other constantly? Like, get a room, like kind of that vibe. But I was like, no, I love this person, and now I have a boyfriend. It's not going to be any different. If I want to hold his hand, I'll hold his hand. And if, of course, I feel pressure, I feel eyes, I feel people watching, and I'm just like, you know what? You can watch. You can just watch and watch and watch, and hopefully one day you understand that this is just normal.
Yeah.
Because if you don't watch, you'll never understand that it's normal. So please watch. Please keep watching, because if you watch like something over and over again, it will become like, yeah, like I said, normal. So that's my goal in life. And
Aw,
I hope, yeah, people will do that more and more. It's
I love
important.
that. Oh, I love that. So I was gonna ask, how does it feel to have the most streamed song in Eurovision history? But I guess it's also tied into TikTok that you mentioned earlier.
It's
Um,
crazy.
yeah.
Like it's like so crazy how arcade has had a couple of different, like I would almost say like couple of different faces in its life. Like it's a life, and it just decides like, I'm gonna go to Eurovision now, and I'm gonna go to TikTok now, and then I'm gonna go to the top 200 global and Spotify, and then it's just like it's going everywhere, and I'm like, whoa, 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 don't slow down. But just like it's crazy, it's especially to see in these weird times, to see the reaction of people that are a lot harder to reach right now, of course, because I can't travel, I can't do performances, I can't go anywhere. And to see that people are appreciating arcade and listening to it, and it hopefully inspires them or touches their soul right now, that's just so nice to feel. So I'm really happy with that, actually, but mainly because I think the world needs stories, the world needs songs, and I'm so honored that my story and my song is heard by so many people right now in these crazy times.
Yeah. Yeah. How did Fletcher get involved with the remix of it? The is it a remix? Redo?
Yeah, the remake, yeah, duet, yeah. Well, I've always like Fletcher is one of the artists that I've heard a lot from, especially from my team at Capitol, because we have the same team at Capitol. So
Mm,
I always kept an eye on her, and I think she's a very, very strong woman in this music industry, really standing up for LGBT plus, and just like being her authentic self. So I was like, oh my God, it would be so amazing to do a duet with her. And then the idea came like to do arcade with her. And I was like, whoa, yeah. I had to like kind of like switch my mind a little, because obviously I've been singing this song for almost 2 years now, and yeah, it was just crazy for me to think like, okay, is she going to write her own verse on it? I hope she is, because I really loved her perspective on this song, and it all happened in that order and in that way, and it was so cool to see her working on a track that I know so well, but to see her story just merging into my story, it was incredible. And I'm very, very proud of the result, and I'm very proud of her and of us that we did make such a cool new version of Arcade. And I owe her a big, big, big hug and thank you. And when I can go to LA, because I think she is a huge part of the reason that Arcade is doing so well now in the US. So yeah, I can't wait to just come over to LA and just give her the biggest hug ever.
Yes, Fletcher's so cool. That's yeah, I
Yeah,
love.
she is really cool.
And your new album, Small Town Boy, came out a few months ago. Um,
Yes.
can you tell me about the name? I first just want to know about the general name of it. But then I guess what you kind of mentioned that a little bit already. What has it been like just releasing your like debut album during a
Mm.
global pandemic? What that
Yeah.
experience has been like? Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, okay. Well, the name Small Town Boy comes from the phrase small town boy in the big arcade. And that's a phrase in the in Arcade, the song. And the small town boy I'm referring to, I took that small town boy out of that phrase. And the moment I did that, and kind of thought like, hey, could this be the title? So much more came to mind all of a sudden, because I was like, that small town boy when I was younger, I was bullied a lot in school because of my sexuality, because of the fact that I didn't know that I had a different sexuality yet. I was like, I don't know what's happening. How do you guys know? Like, it's just like that kind of vibe. And then I was really like, well, I can't say, no, let's not say that. Let's say chubby. And I was like, I had like a lot of room between my teeth, and I had freckles all over my face, round Harry Potter glasses. I was just basically a chubby Harry Potter. So I was an easy person, yeah, target maybe to pick on. And I had no like I didn't know how to stand up for myself. Basically, that was what was happening. So there was this like circle going on, like me being a victim and then them bullying me, and me being a victim again and then bullying, and it just went on and on. But the one thing that saved me is that at home I had this keyboard that I got from my grandma, and I used to play songs on it all day after, like, finishing my homework, because I was a neat child. I did my homework. But after that, I just spent hours and hours and hours on that keyboard, and it sounded rubbish, but it did the job. I could write so many songs on it and just take that negativity and turn it into something positive, or even like, create a safe space around me within those walls that I could just be myself in. And I really explored who I was by writing songs. And I've always felt like through music, I got to know myself more and more and more. And I could stand up for myself. I could turn those negative thoughts into beautiful stories that would be heard by people, and people would react on it. And that was my way of communicating, really, back then and now still. So that small town boy that writes songs with that purpose of telling a story, communicating with people, hopefully reaching other people who are in the same position, or, you know, um, have ever been in that same position of feeling very vulnerable, or like being bullied or heartbroken or sad or angry or happy or whatever. Um, and reaching out to them through music. That small town boy is still me. Like, I'm still that small town boy. So that's why my album is called Small Town Boy. Um, and releasing it during quarantine is nerve wracking. But I think for me, it has been really, really cool to see how music can literally survive anything. Like, it can overcome anything nowadays, because even with the limits that we are struggling with today, of not being able to travel anywhere or to go anywhere, still my songs are being heard by so many people, and even more and more and more every day. And it's incredible to see how many people picked up their phones, typed in Arcade on TikTok, and made a video with it, but also with other songs that I've released. It's just so incredible to see how creative people can be with your songs, with your art, and make it their own and see their interpretations. I don't think if quarantine had not happened, that so many people would have been on TikTok right now. So many people would have wanted that creative output somewhere, and that is TikTok to me. So I'm really happy, not with quarantine, not with COVID, but I'm very happy with the way the world allowed me to tell my story and listen. And I'm so happy with all the results and all the new followers and all the TikTok videos and everything that is happening right now. So that's how I feel about quarantine. And of course, I spend a lot of time on writing new songs and making new music.
Mhm. Yeah, it's such a wild time. I my favorite songs on the album, just so I can tell you, are "Last Night" and "Umbrella." I listen to those
Cool.
so much. I think "Umbrella" is so beautiful.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. I wrote that one with Jordan, actually, my boyfriend or my fiance, I have to say, sorry.
um, no, but I can't wait till we are allowed to have live music again, and I can come
Yeah.
on tour. It's gonna be I'm so
Yes.
yeah. I guess my last question is: it's kind of hard to have plans for this year, but do you have any like
Yeah,
dreams, aspirations for 2021?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's basically I'm working on a lot of new music right now.
Mhm.
I'm really focusing my time on, getting better as a musician songwriter, but also picking up the guitar and just like kind of things like that. And of course, we have Eurovision planned in May, which is going to happen anyway. So that's very exciting. I'm going to perform there. I can't tell what I'm going to perform yet because Eurovision is all about secrets and reveals. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting to be back on that stage with some, like, also some new music. Yeah, I just can't wait to release new music. But basically, that's the only way to reach people now. Social media, but also like number one is just by releasing music. And I'm very lucky that I'm in the position of, being able to write songs. My band, for example, the life people are having it way rougher than me right now. I'm so thankful that I can write songs here with my boyfriend and just, sit behind the piano all night and be creative. And then, yeah, hopefully somewhere this year, it will be pretty soon, I'll release a bunch of those songs and, yeah, work towards a new album maybe by the end of the year. Who knows?
Cool, that's so exciting. And I'm watching Eurovision this year, no matter what. I'm watching
Yes, do it.
my first Eurovision.
If you can't have it in America, just download that VPN and just do it. Watch it. I think it's going to be on Netflix actually. Well, they said last year.
Um,
So Eurovision of 2019 is on Netflix, and then they made this deal that they were going to broadcast 2022, but obviously 2020 didn't happen. So maybe Netflix will do 21 this year. That would be amazing if it would be on Netflix. You'll definitely see me on that screen then.
yes, 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 yes. I'm watching. Well, yeah,
Cool.
thanks so much for your time today, Duncan. This
You
was so
too.
fun.